So this is the seam allowance kit that I'll be offering in the Etsy shop. It's going to be 3D printed and comes in a variety of colors. And each kit will have the pieces. So we've got all the pieces plus a stand, and the stand even has a pen holder for you to, always have your pen handy. I always find that I'm trying to fight where my pen is located. So to show how these work, we've got 3/4 inch, 5/8 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/8 inch, 1/4 inch, and 1/8 inch also. Some people had requested 1/8 inch guides. And just to show the measurements, so this is the 3/4 inch guide. And if we take from the edge, from this inside edge where this lip is, to the edge of the guide, you can see that that's 3/4 of an inch, even down to the 1/8 of an inch. So, in addition, we've got some curved pieces. So we've got the 1/2 inch, 3/8 and 1/4 inch curved pieces. And then some zipper guides. I like using the zipper guides, installing the zippers, so that way they're centered in the opening where I need to be. I have 3/8 inch opening or a 1/2 inch opening. And all of these zipper guides are specifically for using with number 5 zippers. So you can see there's a number 5, it fits in there very nicely. It will work with a number 3 zipper, it's just that there's more space. So you can see this is a number 3 zipper, and there's just a gap there. So you have to do more of the centering on your own. I like using my zipper guides, as I said, to install my zippers, but I also like to use them to sew them in place. So if I have my zipper guide in there, now I have an edge that I can run my sewing foot against, so that way my zipper is nice and tight installed, and I have a straight edge to be able to use. So I came up with a couple of lengths of these zipper guides. They are, let's see, I think they're 5, 6, and 7 inches. Yeah, so 5, 6, and 7 inches long, because that's about the typical size of the zipper openings that we work with. So those are the sides that the size I made for the zipper guides. I also have the stand for everything, so everything fits right in here. The stand comes in 2 parts. So the pen holder, you don't obviously need it, but if you do, you can just shove it right in there and it will stay firmly in place. And all the pieces fit in here. And everything in the kit is included, the holder or whatever else you want to put in there, and we've got the jig pieces. How the jig pieces work, just like the acrylic ones that I used to make, these are exact same design as the other ones. Now what I did, since I'm 3D printing these, to show where, like if you just put it in there, you kind of can't see where the edge is. But now we have this window in place where you can see the opening. And the edge of this opening is the edge of the lip here. So when you put your material against there, you can know that you'll be able to see that your material has gone all the way to the edge and that you don't have anything in the wrong spot there. So I've got my piece of leather here, and I've got my guide, my 3/4 inch, and I just push it right up against the edge, take my pen, place my mark, and to show that that is 3/4 of an inch, I put my ruler against there. So right up against the line, 3/4 of an inch, okay? And this works with all of the pieces. 5/8, same thing. We're just gonna find the edge, and you can see in the window where the material is. 1/2 inch. The 1/8 doesn't have a little window, but that's because it's a very small opening, so you just sort of have to feel that it's right where you want it to be. So people had asked for the 1/8 inch piece so that way they could have, for marking top stitching when you want to do a 1/8 inch. So if we put this right at the edge there, you can say 1/8, 1/4, 3/8, 1/2 inch, 5/8, and 3/4 is all of our measurements. This also does work on curves. So same principle, you have a curve, curved piece. Oops. So working on the curve, so we've got a curved piece. You can just take the guide and, because now you can see in there, you can just put your marks wherever you need them to be for your curve. And that will help get your curve line where you need it to go. And if you want to, you can still use, so this was the 1/2 inch, you can still use the 1/2 inch piece. It's just that you go, you sort of have to go around like that to get it. But that's what these are for. I use these guides all the time in my sewing. I'm not very good at sewing an extremely straight line. So instead of having to take my ruler and mark a 1/2 inch or 3/8 or whatever it is and go that way, I can just take my guide, put it up against the edge of my material. And there you go, I've got my 1/2 inch piece. It does work with thinner material, non-interfaced material. You just have to be a little bit more careful that you're not moving your fabric around. So the window does help. Just because it is, thinner material and it's going to move. But there you go. And you want to take the curve. So this curve is not the same exact dimension as this, so I'm just going to take and mark it close to my edge here. I can see where my 3/8 inch is. And I take my 3/8 inch guide piece, and I'll go the length of my material here. Do the same thing on this side. And now I can easily draw my lines to match. And then I've got my 3/8 inch curve to sew all the way around. I'm going to an edge, same thing, making sure I want to get all the way to the edge, and then I have my intersecting point, so this would be my turn point if I was sewing this in a corner. So if I could stitch it, starting over on this end, sew, come around the curve, come around, and then come to my corner, and now I've got my pivot point. So I could keep my needle down, turn my material in any way needed, and then keep sewing. And it makes it easier to be able to sew straight lines and even seams when you have a mark. Not all the machines have easy ways to measure these allowances, and so with these guides, it gives you something that you can follow. So this is Barbara from Recent Relics Designs, and this is the new seam allowance kit available in the Etsy shop in a variety of colors. So I hope there's at least one color you like. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm happy to help in any way I can.